Let's go. 2026 NFL Best Ball is officially live. It's a launch party. We're going to draft some teams. We're going to have some fun. My rankings are live. We're hopping into drafts. Shout out drafters for getting us a contest already here on Sunday. We're going to pop into some draft rooms. We're going to have some fun, draft some teams. Initial takes after the NFL draft. Let's do it. Good afternoon, Chris. Good morning to Brett. Still morning where Brett is. Does BBM drop today? No, I believe that is tomorrow. Good morning, Bruce. Versaire, happy launch day. Chihuahua, Superflex. That's funny. But yes, today our good friends at Drafters gave us something to draft right away. We're scratching that itch. I'm super excited. Very quick housekeeping. I promise we'll get into it. We're going to draft a few different teams. I promise we'll get into the drafts very shortly. Yes, I agree. Let's go. It's a wonderful. I mean, there's not much of a better feeling than like the very first drafts. This hat is driving me absolutely nuts. It's about as ratchet as my Cardinals are right now. A couple quick housekeeping notes. One, thank you for joining. We're in for a wonderful 2026. I'm super excited. This year feels really, really unique, actually. The NFL draft is just over, so that's top of mind, of course. If you've listened to any for some like even remotely serious draft content, or you just happen to like check in today or whatever, you've probably heard that by almost any metric, whatever metric you would like to use, this is like the worst, the worst possible fantasy football draft class that we've had in quite some time. So you will see a lot of that reflected in my rankings here, which you can get right as with a Spike Week premium subscription. You'll see them on your screen in just a second. It also comes with the Draft Hacker, which you'll see on your screen, our Draft IQ portfolio tool, the Draft Optimizer, which I'm going to get into probably tomorrow, sometime soon this week, a new tool that we launched, and you get access to the Discord. Everything is for all sports, right? One subscription, $39.99 a month, $200 for the year. You get absolutely all rankings, all strategy, all Discord, absolutely everything. If you have not played on Drafters before, I also assure you I don't get a kickback from this. I'm just promoting our good friends over at Drafters. If you use code SPIKE, SPIKE, you'll get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. So if you want to join me in this Drafters tournament, haven't played there before, you can get a free $100 on Drafters. They do have a promo. We'll get into that in just a moment. But I wanted to touch on like the rookies and the rankings and stuff, right? If you're using our rankings, which again, I have loaded into Drafters, things are going to flesh themselves out in the later rounds. This is a bizarre year where a lot of the times we get a whole bunch of like high impact rookies coming in. It becomes a little bit more clear. You know, we don't know exactly who the backup is in every backfield or who the wide receiver 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But there were more tight ends than ever drafted in the draft this year. There were fewer running backs than ever drafted in the draft this year. The wide receiver class was not super great outside of maybe the top couple of guys. And then some of the guys that even went earlier were shockers, big reaches by your consensus big board type stuff. It's a peculiar, very, very strange year. So my number one takeaway is if you have very, very strong takes in some of the later rounds, you think this guy's going to rise, you think this guy's undervalued, it's a great time to hop in and do some drafts because I don't think anybody really knows. I struggled over like once you get to pick like 125, 130, maybe 150, it's rough. It's rough. So we're going to have a lot of fun talking about those teams for sure. Let's pull up the Drafters tournament. $15, $250,000 to first place this year. You can, of course, draft slows, as you see. 20 rounds, full point PPR. And they added, for some fun, some weekly prizes. So you can win up to $100, or you can win $100 up to $5,000 every single week of the NFL season. So if you've struggled with the drafters format, the right, which is total points. So there's no playoffs, no pod luck, none of that stuff on drafters. But if you maybe struggled, like, yeah, but now, like, a lot of my teams, I don't have anything to sweat after the first 6 weeks, 8 weeks of the season. Well, they got you covered this year. You can still win $5,000, right? It's not even $2,500 to max the tournament. You can instantly profit in 1 week if you have a really big weekly score. So we can still sweat our teams all year, which I think is a really good wrinkle. I'm admittedly not generally like a regular season prize and like weekly prize type guy or whatever, but I think it makes a lot of sense for this format. Let's see. Yeah, they have rewards. You see milestone bonuses here. If you reach 10 drafts, you get a free one. Another free one at 25, 50, 75, 100. Obviously, there's 2 here if you get to 100. And bonus a free ticket plus bonus funds if you get to 100. We are definitely so back. Will you be drafting BBM tomorrow? I can't wait. My nipples are getting perky. We are definitely so back if folks' nipples are getting perky. I will be drafting. I haven't decided. I haven't completely confirmed the streaming schedule for the week. I know just full shout out to Pete Overzet is going to be streaming for about 7 hours or something tomorrow. I'm sure a lot of people will be streaming Underdog tomorrow. We may do something special in the evening. I'm not totally sure yet. Pete is the man on Monday mornings through Monday afternoons, and so I kind of let him rock, and I don't compete with the GOAT. But we're gonna have some fun today and draft some teams. So without further ado, let's just hop on in. Right? Looks like we need 5. Another thing I want to try to do this year on draft shows, times when we're drafting, is do a little more like air quotes multi-tabling, not like fully multi-tabling. But after 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 rounds or so, we'll pop into another one. I know it's more fun when there's a little more action going on the show, and it's not me sitting here, rambling and riffing about God knows what, but also when more people can get in, so I see this is the most friends and family ass draft ever. I recognize almost every name in this draft, and it's more fun when folks are able to get into the drafts. So we'll try to do a few more. We'll try to do a few more at the, like I said, every 6, 7, 8, 10 rounds or so, we'll pop into another one. Let's can see my just handful of crappy NBA playoff best ball teams here. Shout out to me, Anthony Edwards. Wah, wah, wah. Brutal. I probably have to update my draft tacker, so I'll do that in the background while we draft here. Any idea when DK best ball will drop? No, I don't know yet when DK best ball will drop. I know, shout out to my main man, Jim in the Discord, aka Jace, always knows exactly when things have launched in the past. And I never seem to remember DraftKings, like when DraftKings has launched in the past. BBM is usually on Mondays. I know Drafters has tried to make it a thing to do Sundays. And then I think DraftKings is also, like tomorrow, Tuesday. I can't recall. But we'll definitely be doing DraftKings stuff as well. Yeah, I obviously recognize your name, Longhorn, from the chat, but I can't keep everybody's. This is what I am, Beimfohr on every platform ever, right? Or of course, Erik Beimfohr, formerly known as EB Beimfohr now. But I can't keep everybody's names straight. Thank you. Shout out to Felix, aka Tourney, former winner of the. I knew that someone who won the Millie on DraftKings in DK Best Ball would know. DK was today last year. So we got conflicting reports. You're in trouble, Bernie. Did Ant blow out his knee? He didn't blow it out, but he's out for multiple weeks. So that's really brutal. M. Stockton, do you have top 3 landing spots for rookies? That is a great question. Let me think about this. Number 1, thumbnail boy, gotta be Jordan Tyson, which sounds crazy. I just want to retroactively, if you watched, I did a show a month ago or something where I picked the top 10 breakout off. Like I ranked, there's 32 teams, 10 breakout offenses doesn't really make sense, but sort of a top 10 of breakout offenses, teams that I thought could take a big leap. Wow. See, Ralph takes Ken Walker. We get CD at the 1-2 turn. So do I just, where's hold on, reset the default order. Yeah, I'll be able to get CD with all of these guys more frequently. And it's not that I won't be able to get CD with James Cook, but I definitely don't have James Cook at the 12 spot, right? Sure, why not? I don't love it, but I'm trying to I don't have hardly anyone in the first 2 rounds that I'm going to zero out. Something I'm working on the optimizer. Anyway, Jordan Tyson, I didn't love the Saints so much. I also didn't think they were going to take a Jordan Tyson. He's my wide receiver 1 in the class. No issues with Carnell Tate or Mekhi Lemon, but I love Jordan Tyson. Hold on, I see you, Rick. The Saints were a team I was really lukewarm on. And the more I've thought about it, the more I listen to, I promise, even if I argue with you, chat or commenters, I listen and I think about it. And the more I've thought about it, and then obviously you add Jordan Tyson into the mix. Bryce Lance also added into the mix for the Saints, a defense that they did like almost nothing to upgrade the like in the draft. It was like a largely offense, the Oscar Delp. So even though I'm still lukewarm on Tyler Shuck, the quarterback, the football player, I'm pretty excited for the Saints. And the biggest reason for that is Jordan Tyson. So I actually think that landing spot is awesome. I'm really excited for Tyson. This is a great question because I actually haven't. I mean, I like did the rankings and but I haven't like thought about who would be your absolute favorites. I'm probably not going to draft like a ton of these types of guys. I think Damon to the Vikings, as copy paste says, is a intriguing one. I'm not going to go crazy on the like 5th, 6th, 7th round players from this class. We'll talk a lot about that, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks. This class is historically bad, like historically bad class. And so then not only is it bad, now these guys were not even the best picks by the NFL standards. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they can't become something. For instance, I think the landing spot for Emmett Johnson is fucking awesome. I think it's the Chiefs. This is what we've been hoping for from one of a rookie back that we like, right? We tried to make Brashard Smith a thing. We tried to make Eli Mitchell, not a rookie, but we tried to make Eli Mitchell a thing. And then who am I forgetting? Not Carson Steele, sort of, but who was the other guy? He's not even in the league anymore. I can't remember. Anyway, we've tried to make these Chiefs guys a thing, and we finally we've tried to say this is the new Jerick McKinnon, right? I'm not saying Emmett Johnson is the new Jerick McKinnon. I'm just saying he is a prospect I really liked. I was clearly a bit wrong about that, given the draft capital, but the landing spot is really juicy. We definitely did try to make CEH a thing, but I'm trying to think of the back like 2 years ago that was he's getting reps with the ones in training camp, and he was he's a good athlete. I can't believe I'm I'm forgetting this, but it's going to drive me nuts. Someone will think of it. But yeah, as Jason, bad draft class plus bad run out for most of the guys was pretty rough. Like so I'm not a fan of Deshaun Stribling. I do think Deneric Prince. Thank you, Elsie. I'm not a fan of Stribling as like a prospect, and neither was anyone. That's not a hot take outside of the 49ers. It was a large reach, but I would be willing to forego that a little more than I am if he wasn't like he needs an injury, which Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Ricky Pearsall, pretty injury prone dudes. So he has a decent likelihood of maybe getting that injury. But you have a prospect I didn't really like getting the draft capital that I do like in a landing spot that's just like not super great, right? Wow, Josh Allen. We'll do a little. I'm kind of happy I took James Cook now. We get a little Bills stack with CD. And then I do have T up next. Let's just take T. Why not? Let's take T Higgins. CD Lamb, James Cook, Josh Allen, T Higgins. Exactly. Stribling has if Stribling can avoid all of the electromagnetic currents flowing through every other San Francisco 49er, he's in for a good rookie season, I think. I could see Kurt going away over the season for sure. The problem is so is Pearsall going to move into the slot then? Christian Kirk is a slot receiver, especially at this point in his career. Stribling isn't really. Stribling has not really been a slot receiver, so it's going to be a weird one. But that's sort of my take on the rookie classes. Not on everyone. Certainly not on Jordan Tyson, not on Tate and Lemon and Jeremiah Love, and somebody mentioned Jadarian Price. Like not on those guys. Like I'm not waiting and seeing on those guys because we have a decent idea, given that their first round picks. It's a little bit different. But like the later round picks, especially, and then of course like the Striblings of the world, like Caleb Douglas goes in the third round, right? Like massive reach. Those guys are from like those guys on, really like the non-first rounders for the most part, are guys I'm mostly waiting and seeing on. I'm not saying I'm not going to draft 0, but I want to be pretty patient and wait for summer news because I think, as we said, it's a really bad class and it's bad landing spots and it's bad draft capital or 2 of the 3 or whatever for most of these guys. So I don't want to just say, well, I liked him as a prospect. Who cares that he went in the 5th round? Who cares that he went in the 6th round? I think that's a little bit of hubris, particularly in a bad class. If this was like, oh, well, it was a loaded class, so Cam Scad, if you loved Cam Scadaboo, he goes in the 4th round, but of a great class, it's a little bit different. If you go in the 5th and 6th round of a shit class, what does that really say about you? So I think we want to factor that in. And so it's not that those guys will be nothing. It's that those guys, I kind of want to wait and see what happens. Like at least give me like some OTAs or something. Certainly I want to hear what happens in training campus. If we're going to draft all summer, I got time to pile on these guys. I told a story this morning in the Discord, which again, blah, 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 et cetera, comes with the Spike Week premium subscription. You can also join it for just $5. Just go to the site, go to premium, you'll see it. A couple years ago, the year of Kyren Williams, the year that has sort of broken our brains when Kyren and Puka come out of nowhere from the late rounds and destroy fantasy, right? I actually had like 50% Kyren Williams that season, but I didn't draft him until training camp, and until we got later in the summer, and it was like, oh shit, like they really don't like Cam Akers. Kyren Williams is for sure at worst the backup running back, and maybe more, right? And then we got to preseason, and it was like he's resting with the starters, and so is this Puka guy. It's like, what's going on here? And I pounced, just like straight up pounced. And so had I drafted a bunch of teams before then and was not drafting him? Sure. And I still was able to get, to 30, 40, 50% of some of those guys because I was just taking them. Once we got confirmation, it's like I can still draft a ton of them and have an awesome summer. And I finished in the top 10 of Best Ball Mania that year. I had my best year on drafters ever. I've struggled on drafters. It's something I'm trying to focus on this year, but like made more finals than any year I've ever made. Was in the afternoon, the Sunday afternoon games, I was sitting really live to win Best Ball Mania. Didn't end up getting there, but it was really freaking live. And so all summer I did not draft Kyron and Puka. And then once we got the news, it was like, shove your chips in. So you can still do, right? If we get news, it's like, oh no, Emmett Johnson's going to be he's going to be the Jerick McKinnon to whoever the hell was the, of early down runner, right, to Ken Walker, or it actually is Katron Allen's backfield. Like we'll find those things out, and I don't have to take that level of risk because the most likely scenario was that they're truly nothing, and there's other guys who aren't nothing back there. So that's sort of how I'm playing it right now. Again, doesn't mean sometimes you'll draft a team where you just need to take a home run swing, but for the most part, that's sort of my thesis. I don't think I gave a third. Damn, Scattaboo goes. Damn it. Carnell Tate goes. I have Tyson and Chuba as the top two guys here. Let's see what ADP says. Yeah. As you'll see, I don't agree with this. This is old. This is, I believe, like just like preloaded old ADP. And I have Jordan Tyson, Chuba Hubbard as my top two guys here at this 5-6 turn. So I'm loving this start. Don't clip this and don't remember this for the rest of the summer, but I'm actually happy I took James Cook ? But it feels good. What was my profit that year? Unfortunately for me, despite finishing so highly in Best Ball Mania, that individual team got paid out a total of $15,000. It was the year of the top heaviest. That was the year that they introduced the regular season prizes, and the regular season prizes were like a third of the prize pool. And so first was 2 million and like 10th was 15 grand. So, I'm like, I tried to go to the bank and tell them like, this is actually worth more because the time I won, it was the worst payout structure of all time. Obviously they've not gone back to that payout structure. So I was right. They were wrong. The bank didn't put any more money in my account though, but, made 20 something grand that year. So pretty good. Haven't been able to hit big in the finals, which is another reason why I'm going to try to focus some more on the cumulative scoring stuff. I know Drafters is working on some different formats as well. So if you like things like Eliminator and maybe, quarterly stuff, Superflex, whatever, I'm trying to focus a little bit more on that. But I do love just like everybody, I love the playoff format, which is very fun. But I haven't been able to strike gold as of yet, despite two top 10. I finished top 10 in Best Ball Mania twice. Let's see. Some are saying Heidenreich is going to be this year's version of Pyron. That's a good Freudian slip. That's what Puka and Kyron combined is. So Heidenreich's new nickname is Pyron because he's both of them together. Darwin Thompson was before, but that's another good shout. That was even longer. Do you know if Drafters is allowed in Iowa? I think so. You'd have to look it up though. I don't ever want to necessarily speak for the legality stuff. Just Google it and they will tell you. I love how the top of the board hasn't changed at all yet. And I don't really know that it's going too much. Like none of those guys were really impacted. Like who in the first round, what has changed? Do you like Gibbs or Bijan better? Nothing has really changed about that. I mean, the Lions drafted an offensive lineman, so I guess that's not really true. I still have Bijan 101, but my full transparency, this is a cop-out, but this is also how I want to play it. I'm not fading Gibbs or Bijan. And so if the market decides Gibbs is 101, I'm going to take Gibbs 101. If the market decides Bijan is 101, I'm going to take Bijan 101. And I do think it's going to decide, and it might trend to Gibbs. But I don't think that the top of the, like, each draft will have maybe this guy likes Jefferson more, and this guy likes CMC more. This guy likes Genty. This guy likes CD. It's going to be a little bit of a different order, but I sort of think the top 10 or 11 are pretty locked in. I very much struggle with Ken Walker at in the first round. How are you feeling about Geno after the Jets draft? My opinions haven't changed too much on Geno. I will say in the total points formats like this, he's probably a little better. Where you don't have to worry about the Jets' end of season stink becoming a problem. Because the weapons around him are nice. Yesterday I was live, streaming during day 3 of the draft, and it's a pretty exciting skill group. Garrett Wilson, my guy Omar, Sadiq, AD Mitchell, Brees, Braylon, Mason Taylor as your tight end too, Isaiah Davis. Like that's a competent collection of skill players. It's just the team's still gonna be bad. So is Geno playing at the end of the year? Who knows? So I have this is a quarterback zone plus, as you can see here, we're at pick 84, and I'm this is where I slotted Tony Pollard in, a big winner. Chuba, as you saw, a big winner of the draft. But I have CD, and I'm just going to take Dak. We're just going to lock up Josh Allen stack with and a Dak stack. Let's see what ADP says. Okay, I definitely don't dislike Pearsall, and I have him pretty close to here. Just a little bit down. So we'll play the little ADP game and take Ricky Pearsall. So that's 8 rounds. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. No more quarterbacks for me. Sorry to the 3 quarterback people. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Jordan Tyson, and Ricky Pearsall. Let's see. Chat is on fire. Do you think the market keeps love at this price throughout the summer, or do you think he drops? Price being like, call it middle of the second round. I think he stays there. Like he could possibly drop a little. It's a great question because I mentioned at the top, the late rounds are really brutal to put rankings together for. I find the second round to be difficult. So I think that's part of the, like, do you think Love will drop? Do you think, I'm just making stuff up, right? Achane will drop. Do you think, Rasheed is going at the 1-2 turn? That seems crazy. It's like, okay, rank the second round and come back to me. Like, Saquon was terrible last year, and the Eagles all they're doing is trading away A.J. Brown. I know they made some fun additions, but are they going to be better? Like Trey McBride, like they've theoretically gotten better, but does that mean he sees fewer targets? Achane, the Dolphins are in the shitter. He's awesome, but the Dolphins are in the shitter. Hampton, like how good is Omari and Hampton really? How much are Keaton Mitchell and maybe Kamani Vidal going to play? It's like the whole second. Malik Neighbors should be an end of the first round pick, just like he was last year, but he tore his ACL. He's also on draft shows talking shit about every draft pick, about talking shit about the Giants draft picks. It's like they all have questions. If I knew that Malik Neighbors was healthy, he'd probably be my like 111, 110, but he's not. But I don't know that he is. So like everybody in the second mark actually has, bizarrely, they're awesome, but also have big question marks. So I think it's difficult for Jeremiah Love to fall when that happens. Why do you think the drafters main event went from $20 and $5 to for first place to 15 and was hoping for a life-changing? I mean, if $250,000 isn't life-changing to you, then you're like, I don't know what to tell you. But like how rich? Congratulations on the financial well, the wealth that you've been able to accumulate in your life. $250,000 seems pretty life changing for 99.99% of the world to me. But um, it's because they're gonna be pushing some new stuff. They're making some changes, trying out the weekly stuff, and this gives some flexibility to be able to try out some, right. Like, think about if you're running the business and it keeps overlaying most years. Um, but you're trying to fill it up as a business, and that prohibits you from attempting to run, like, I'm not trying to give away their bacon or or give away their secrets or whatever. What if they want to try like the Eliminator? What if they want to try some new contest formats? If that then takes away from and it ruins the experience. Now less people are entering. They have to wait longer for drafts to fill. It's like it's this weird chicken or the egg thing in the best ball space, right? So in order to grow some other contests and make the user experience a little bit better, I think reducing it down to $15 is going to make it better it's cheaper for all of us to max. It's cheaper for even if you don't want to max. You also get, right, they can offer the weekly stuff this way. Try that out, and continue to offer the awesome rewards that we get, a bunch of free tickets along the way. They'll have more promotions. If you've ever played on Drafters before, later in the summer, we're going to get, draft 5 teams this weekend, get 1 free. So you're going to rack up a bunch of free tickets, and just reducing the price a little bit allows them some flexibility to give us better stuff and make the summer a little bit better while still giving us $250,000 to first place, if that makes sense. $250K isn't really life-changing, but it's a nice boost. That's hilarious. How rich? Okay, I have Corum and the Pooh. I definitely am a Blake Corum fan here, but I know from putting the rankings together, I have a bunch of later running backs I really like, and wide receiver does get. So I'm going to draft this little secondary Packer stack here with Reed and Golden. I think they're both underpriced. I don't have to have Love. Sorry if anybody had already drafted Love or was planning on it. Tough shit. But I'm a big fan of Reed and Golden for sure. Your pick, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, for sure. It's a genuinely good question. I mean, we have to be able to have those conversations. Like you said, like, I'm not going to avoid a conversation about a question that everyone is probably asking. I think it's a legitimately good question. It's a competitive space. They're trying to offer the best possible user experience that they can in the best tournament. I think this is a great one. Like, Best Ball Mania is $25. DraftKings went up to $25 this year, giving us a $15, it's 40% cheaper to max this contest, or just 40% cheaper on every entry. Is nice. It's a nice change up. But it's difficult to have the same prize pool at $15, when you're drafters. So I think it's overall a good thing for us, for the industry, etc. And it's going to give us some more fun tournaments. Agreed. Drafters Main is live. You know it, Solo. You know it. We'll just leave that one there. It's funny. When will BBM drop? Tomorrow, I believe. Agreed. Let's see, this is you get in these early drafts with all of these Updog and Shuby and everything. These guys are too good. But we're stacking divisions, looking for weekly upside. We can't just let it rip. These guys are already on, Best Ball 301 in the first draft of the year. Within that chunk of quarterbacks from 64 to 69, which two are the smashes and which two are the busts? Ooh, fun question. We'll make a couple more picks and then we'll hop into another draft, by the way. 64 to 69. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is Drake May, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams. Busts, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is my first easy answer. Joe Burrow. How about that one? Drake May has me a little worried. Daniels, Herbert are two smashes. The other ones would be in the contention for the busts. How about that? So Herbert, Daniels, smash, Hurts, Burrow, bust. I like that question. That was a fun question. Yep. Weekly prizes for those that have just joined. You can make up to $5,000 every single week of the season in the Drafters tournament now. So that's fun. I just can't stomach taking Josh 2 rounds above the other quarterbacks. I got no push. I have no pushback on that. I'm not going to have a bunch of Josh Allen, but we got a little bit of a price decrease and in a flat zone. I'm pretty comfortable. Ashton Genty should move down now that they have Mike Washington. I see what you're doing. DJ Moore going 39 these days. Little rich for my blood. Hold on. Let me pull up the ranks. In my rankings, I have DJ Moore way behind that. 56. I have DJ Moore 56 overall. So that's quite rich. Okay. We'll stack Allen with Kincaid. Tracy looks good here. Aaron Jones looks good here. Tyjae this is a little early. Oh, poor Tyler Algier. Okay, so I'm definitely going to take Kincaid. Let me just look at wide receiver real quick. Denzel Boston looks nice here too, but I'm pretty solid. Tracy, Aaron Jones. I have them right next to each other. I don't think Tracy's going to come back, but let's do Aaron Jones. Just in case. Yeah, I think the weekly prizes is cool. Weekly prizes over regular season prizes. Right? Like, don't put regular season prizes in my BBM, but if you want to pay out weekly stuff in a cumulative scoring format, then I think that's fun. Give me a reason to care, on all of my teams all year. Haven't drafted on Drafters before. It isn't pods, right? Just points. And is it full PPR? That is correct. Total points. So the moment this draft is over, right? There's 12 of us in this draft. The moment this draft is over, sorry, I forgot I was going to get, while I'm saying this, we're hopping into another. It's 2 out of 12. So if anybody wants to come hang out in here, it needs 9 more. Something else that's very cool about Drafters that I really, really like is you'll see here later this summer, if you come back and join me for some drafts, when I'm in some slows, you'll see this at the top here. These like sort of pills for all the different drafts that you're in. This will be loaded up with you're 6 picks away, 7 picks away, 12 picks away, whatever. But you see here 16 picks away. The multi-tabling and slow draft functionality for drafters, in my opinion, is the best, bar none, across the whole industry. So I really like it for that. I still play DraftKings, Underdog, Fast Draft. I play all of them, but just wanted to give them their flowers on something that I think that they're best in class at. And you'll see it here in action. But yes, the moment this draft is over, we really don't care about the other 11 people that we drafted against. We have to beat everyone else, all however many thousand people in the whole tournament. We're trying to win $250,000. We need to score the most points of anybody in the whole tournament across all 17 weeks, right? So not 18, but still the full 17 weeks of the season. We're trying to score the most points. And yes, full PPR. 20 rounds, full PPR. No bonuses. If you play DraftKings, there's no 100-yard or 300-yard bonuses. So it's like a little bit of a hybrid scoring system between Underdog and DraftKings. Trying to update my rookie rankings. Not ready for this yet. Yeah, I got to say, the last 24 hours has been a little bit of a whirlwind. I did say if you use my rankings here at Spike Week, I'm gonna do a bunch of drafting today and tomorrow and stuff, and I'm gonna keep sort of iterating on mainly the later guys. Like I always say, you put together the rankings like before you start drafting, just because you want to have the rankings for when you're drafting. But looks like we filled over here, and I'm picking 7th, and of course they're right at the same amount of picks away. This one's going quickly. But I put the rankings together. You need to do drafts with them and experience the drafts. Like the only way to really, like, I'm not trying, there's just no shade, but if anybody's like selling rankings or touting their ranking stuff and they don't test them in like a bunch of drafts, I don't know how anyone could be that confident in them. Let's do Amon-Ra, because you learn a lot about where you would actually take guys, where, of course, ADP on players, and just like how draft rooms work. Without drafting, it's very difficult. So I will be sort of figuring that out as I go here over the course of the next couple days. So we're definitely in that range though, where like this ADP stuff doesn't matter too much. I do like this tight end zone. So I took Aaron Jones. I'm going to take Hawk, build out, right? So I got Packers. I need a tight end, Packers secondary stack, and now a Vikings secondary stack. And I'm going to take my boy Tajay here, because I think the fact that the Titans only drafted Nick Singleton makes him an awesome value. Up in 4 in the other draft, but just really quickly, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Tajay Spears, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Jordan Tyson, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Dalton Kincaid, and TJ Hawkinson. Dare I say, fun team. Yes. Yes. Emmett at 152 is the classic. It never works for them, but maybe it will for us. I have Emmett buried. 225. 225 overall for Emmett for me. And I love Emmett. Here's my running back 2 in the class. See, I have London over Rasheed, but Rasheed is going to be going much higher. Let's do Rasheed. I'm pretty confident that Rice is going to go closer to the 1-2 turn, whereas London's going to go like middle to late second. And I'll be able to get a lot more of, if I want combos with Drake London down the road, right, with all the different first rounders, I'll be able to get it. Rankings fluid until September. Definitely fluid. Where are you ranking AJ Dillon? In my CFL ranks, I haven't got to those yet. When does DK drop? Can't say for sure. But I know that some people said it launched tomorrow this time last year, and some people said later today. Soon. DraftKings can be a little bit of a black box. Let's see. GM Tyler. GM happy. I'm sure Tyler is celebrating today, just like we are. Ooh, Georgie. Do Pickens. Well, got to get back to my 0 running back roots here. Taking James Cook and Josh Allen and Chuba Hubbard and Aaron Jones, as someone said, is geriatric. Borderline geriatric. I know, but guess what? Old players. Who is going to score fantasy points in the Vikings backfield? because it happens every year unless JJ McCarthy is the quarterback. And even then, they were scoring some fantasy points. I pick 133, Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason with just a 6th-round rookie. I like Demond as much as the next guy, but come on. We can't write off backfields because they took a running back in the 6th round. Like, they're going to score fantasy points. Aaron Jones specifically on full PPR, right, is going to catch passes. I'm not a big fan of Kyler, but he's good enough to make this offense competent again. They're already talking about limiting Kincaid. Yeah, I mean, he's drafted as though he's limited. Right? All of those things. Pick 132. The reason you draft on Kincaid is for spikes, is for when the Bills need to pass, he earns targets at a higher rate than anyone else on the team. He is as efficient on his routes as any tight end in football. He was the most efficient last year, tight end in football on a per route basis. He's going to be limited in how many routes he runs on most weeks. But what you want, especially at this cheap price, what was old ADP here? Vlad, Bucky, Javonte. I mean, David Montgomery at 47. Jesus Christ. Glad it is. If Kincaid is giving you a few weeks out of the year, particularly correlated with Josh Allen big games, right? The Josh Allen big passing games are very highly correlated with the good Kincaid games, because if they're forced to go Superman Josh Allen, now Kincaid's running more routes. When Kincaid runs more routes, he earns more targets and he gains more yards. Those are the big Dalton Kincaid games. I'm not paying for Dalton Kincaid. This is not 2 years ago when Dalton Kincaid was a 4th or a 5th round pick and we were wish casting. Now I'm just getting like, I don't really need him to expand his role. I just need a couple of good games a year. If he expands his role, great. But I'm going to draft multiple different tight ends to layer in my tight end points. That's hilarious. Oh, we're in my running back zone here. We're in my ADP doesn't matter zone here for sure. As you see, the highest ranked player on my board did not have an ADP in the pre-draft cycle. Woody goes. I'll probably take Tank. Oh shit. Okay, I'm on the clock. Well, let's do Tank and see if there's any. Tank and we'll buy the backfield with Ray Davis. Oh shit, wrong. I love you, Terry, but let's do Scat. Obviously started out very wide receiver heavy, something I have done too much in the past. This does not mean you can't take Terry or can't keep drafting zero running back on a team like this. But something I've done too much in the past is just get into my, wide receivers at the top of my board. I'm a zero running back, bro. But I also really like Cam Skattebo, and this is a great team for Cam Skattebo. After the draft, somebody asked about best landing spots for rookies earlier, and I'll come up with a third one, I promise. But the biggest winners from if this class is bad, and there's all these terrible landing spots for all of these rookies that we all pretty much agree is true. Who's the biggest winner? The biggest winners. Who are the biggest winners? Words are hard. The vets. If there aren't very many rookie winners, these vets who've been discounted because we're like, well, the Giants are going to draft Jeremiah Love, or at least they're going to draft a early-ish running back. It's like, nope. So Skattebo and Chuba and the Titans guys and Rashad White and Bill and like all those guys are the biggest winners. Commander's going to sign Fournette. Do I trade my mid-27 first for the 104? At full transparency, not a dynasty expert, but the 104 would be Lemon. I wouldn't if it were me. So, yeah, Laura, here's another one. We're going to take Chuba again. Goddamn, apparently I'm going to have a bunch of Chuba today. take Chuba. Scat and Chuba as what I think are pretty strong RB1s. Obviously, Scattaboo younger, maybe a little more upside. But I'm pretty excited about the Panthers drafted another offensive lineman. Say whatever you want about Brazel, could maybe provide some downfield juice to the passing offense. Just continue to build out a really strong foundation around T-Mac and Coker. Jonathan Brooks. I'm excited for Jonathan Brooks too. So before somebody says, "Oh, you like Chuba, don't you like Brooks?" Yes, I do. I do like Jonathan Brooks. But they could both be good picks. At cost, I prefer Chuba over Tet. I think that's fair. Preach, Bernie. Tracy is going to have a great year with Harbaugh. There's another one. I like Scat and I like Tracy. They're both good picks. You too, Quasi. Big fan of the Vikings guys right now. Right. The Vikings are a really good example of, I think they have to move up. Like I said, Claiborne is fine. He's a 6th-round flawed rookie. I don't dislike him. I'm just saying, let's not do Brashard Smith and Jaden Blue and Deneric Prince and whoever, Rasheen Ali, and let's not do that again. Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scatterbar are proven solid NFL backs. So is Chuba. It's solid enough, right? And so those I don't know why I just said the Giants guys, but Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason are totally fine NFL backs. Is Aaron Jones going to stay healthy all year? No, he is not. Do I need him to at this price? No, I do not. Okay, somebody said Price went in the 60s in their other draft, right? Then we're taking Tadarian Price straight to the podium. Okay, round 17 is damn. Who in here is also on the Flanoy train to take Flanoy from me? What about tight end? Okay, we can wait. No, Jalen Knoll, big winner. Antonio Williams, quite frankly, is a winner. Antonio, Freiermuth, Mayer. Do I continue well, let's take Antonio. There's one. I don't love Antonio Williams as the prospect, but he's one of the rookies that I'm willing to take some shots on right now because of that landing spot. He's never going to be it's NFL teams have all basically said, and reporters and stuff, that it's a borderline lock that Brandon Ayuk is a commander. So just assume Antonio Williams plus Terry McLaurin plus Brandon Ayuk, Chikakonkwo. That's sort of your go forward plan at wide receiver for the Commanders. So it's fine, I think, at a later cost. Even though I don't love him, PPR is better for him as a slot receiver. Some guys I respect like him more than I do, so I'm willing to take some shots very late on a player like that. Okay, we got Rasheed, so we take Mahomes. God damn, how's this working out so well? This is wonderful. Treylon Burks, yeah. Luke McCaffrey, the real McCaffrey. Jalen Lane, all still there. I'm sure it'll go well. Will you draft more today? Definitely going to do another one. So obviously this is draft number 2 that I'm in right here. And we are almost done with draft number 1. 2 more picks to close it out. Definitely need to get another tight end. And then running back, wide receiver doesn't really matter. Do we expect Brooks to be a full go? They've spoke positively about how things are going. They haven't said a lot of what to expect. Shout out to Coach Speak Index. If you aren't in the Coach Speak Index Discord, I highly recommend it. It's one of the best tools out there in fantasy for helping stay ahead of these kinds of questions. I think they're cautiously optimistic about Jonathan Brooks, but my guess is they're going to play it pretty slow as to not risk. There's no reason to risk it, but I do expect him. They're hoping he can be a full go, if that makes sense. Yeah, see, I definitely like T-Mac more than you do, but I also very much like Chuba and Coker. So, yep, exactly. Copy paste this. Panthers drafted a center yesterday too. Taking Brooks and Chuba. This is one of my favorite backfields to buy. Chuba Brooks on the same team. I see the Rams comment. We will get to it. I promise. Wow, Pollard again. Let's skip Pollard because I want Goff on this Amon-Ra team. And I don't want to get boxed out of quarterback. Okay. Sounds sick. Okay. I'm going to take Malik. I'm going to take my guy Malik. And what's tight end looking like? Mayer, Parkinson, Dulcich. I'm going to take Michael Mayer. Talk about winners from the draft. One of the sneakiest winners of the draft was Michael Mayer. No wide receivers selected for the Raiders. And so it's like Jalen Naylor, Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, Dante Thornton at wide receiver. Obviously, Brock Bowers is the man in the passing game, but I think right in this world of 12 personnel and 13 personnel, Michael Mayer is one of the best backup tight ends, second tight ends in football. Was an awesome prospect in his own regard, a second-round pick in his own regard. Had a struggle out of the gate, even like stepped away from the team for a little bit. Came on, I thought, well, in a shit environment when Bowers was banged up last year. And I think he's an awesome pick. Also, obviously has major contingent value. If something happens to Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer becomes a stone cold smash. So I'm up in 4 picks over there, but I just want to read the first team off. Team number 1, 2026. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Tyjae Spears, Tank Bigsby, Ray Davis, Malik Davis. CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Jordan Tyson, Ricky Pearsall, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Jalen Knoll, and Antonio Williams. Dalton Kincaid, TJ Hawkinson, Michael Mayer. This team rocks. I'm excited. The old dusty guys. I genuinely think some of the old dusty guys are the best picks right now. And I understand that's not sexy. So I'm mixing in some young guys. We drafted some youth on these teams. I just think that the not so narrow doesn't like it. And I like it. Mayer is an easy guy to talk yourself into, but will regret later. Welcome to round 20, brother. that I think every round 20 pick is well, talk myself into that one. Not so sure that was a good idea. Should I stack up Mahomes, take Wandale? This is a pretty good price on Wandale. Let's do Wandale, especially on full PPR. They did. I can pull it up in a second. You have to give me 2 seconds. I'll pull up the 12%. Two days in a row, my wife ends up being gone while we're doing a show, which is nice because I can, say things that she maybe wouldn't like. I'm kidding, but certainly makes things a little more difficult to deal with 2 fucking insane dogs. NFL personnel usage. I have this bookmarked somewhere, I think. Let's see. 12. Seattle, eighth highest 12 personnel, about 30%. So, and not it doesn't matter with the Raiders because obviously the coaching staff is gone, but you saw the former coaching staff used Bowers, Mayer, used multi-tight end, used 12 personnel specifically at the 4th highest rate, and then Clint Kubiak used it at the 8th highest rate. So we're going to get plenty of them on the field at the same time. Not a concern for me. Mayer is going to be one of my sort of go-to guys. Well, instead of waiting into like this rookie could be anything, even a boat. Like I'm just going to draft the boat. That is Michael Mayer. I already feel pretty decent that he's a good player. Now this one might be a 3. Might be a 3 quarterback team. What's my next pick? 138. Okay. Jalen McMillan, come on down. If you have questions on filling out whatever signups for drafters, I will direct you to their support team, JT. Not my area of expertise, certainly not while I'm doing this. Let me pop into another draft, though, real quick for everybody. Looks like it's 7 to 12. We'll pop into another one here. Oh, 10 to 12 or 9 to 12. 10 to 12. Almost full. Oh, man, Tyler. I'm the wrong person to ask because I am not a fan of... So I guess maybe I am the right person to ask on this because I'm not a Jeremy fan. I totally understand there's other people who are. I don't think he's like a bad football player. I just think he's really unspectacular. I don't think he pops in any... I don't think he has major weaknesses. I don't think he has any real strengths as a football player. He's like a fine route runner. He's like a fine athlete. He's fine with the football in his hands. You know what I mean? So I just think just like straight analytically, right? Like efficiency wise, target earning wise, like all that kind of stuff. He's just fine. Dude is like fucking oatmeal to me. Like I'll eat it if like there's absolutely nothing else, but I'm not seeking it out. You know what I mean? I don't order DoorDash fucking oatmeal to my house. So that's my problem with Jeremy, the prospect. However, what I will say is I can't believe it, but I like the Pittsburgh offense this year. My assumption is Aaron Rodgers is coming back, which is like a little bit gross. But I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna like be able to be a pretty good distributor with the collection of weapons that they have here. So if you like Jeremy more than me, I think the Pittsburgh landing spot is pretty good. We can put Metcalf into the role that Metcalf is supposed to be. Michael Pittman can be our chain mover, right? More of the go-to guy that they tried to miscast a bunch of guys in. 2 competent every down backs who can catch the football but also move the chains. Pat Freiermuth, I think, is a good secondary role player as a tight end. So if Jeremy is better than I think that he is, I think he can be like the ceiling lifter on the offense. So I like it. I like the landing spot. I just don't love the player. I'm gonna take Ward here to go obviously with Wandale. Get my 3. I'm probably going to take 3 quarterbacks on Mahomes teams, at least to start. Maybe later on, if I know for sure he's healthy, and I know a lot of people take 3 quarterbacks all the time anyway. It's totally fine. I'm as a little bit more of a 2 quarterback drafter, or at least certainly much more open to it than I think some people are. You know, the field drafts anywhere between 60 and 80% of the field, depending upon the season, are 3 quarterback teams. I lean a little bit more away from that, but on Mahomes teams, I'm probably going to draft 3, and I'm going to get a little bit of Cam Ward. I mean, I think Dayball is a nice upgrade. Obviously, Carnell Tate and Wandale, bringing back Ridley. I think they'll be all right on offense if Cam Ward doesn't stink, and he might stink. Exactly. Yeah. 2 Michael Pittmans. But if Jeremy is Michael Pittman, that's good. I'm telling you, Brett, the people need to understand that the dusty veterans, it's a new game. 2026 is a new game. Draft the dust balls. The league winners are the guys that are hiding in plain sight. You just got to dust them off a little bit first. They're not the shiny new toy wrapped up under the Christmas tree. They're over in the corner accumulating dust next to the fireplace. Think you'll have a chance to have a real role in the middle of the field. Pittman and DK are more perimeter players, so it's him and Pat Fireman. I agree. I think, like, I have him in the ranks, even though, you know, I don't love him. I think the landing spot is pretty good for Jeremy. So it's just whether or not he can be good enough. And that's in the eye of the beholder. And who really fucking knows? But the opportunity is there. Let's see. I have yet again Tajay. I didn't take Pollard, right? So Strange, Pacheco. This is when things start to get real crazy. Okay, I wasn't able to get him last draft. Oh, no. I have Goff, right? Let's do Tesla. Ooh, I'm really pushing it with tight end here. But we got the Lions double. Oh, Autoed Genty. Okay. Autoed Genty neighbors. That's what I get for not paying attention. But I'm completely comfortable with that. Oh no, that's hacker. I autoed Gibbs. Beautiful. Even better. I saw the other Spike Week logo and I was like, oh, sick. I got Genty neighbors. And then I was trying to think about, like, would my ranks have me get Genty neighbors? I don't think so. But Gibbs, even better. Have you commented on the payout structure changes and the new weekly prizes? I just joined late. Yeah, a little bit. The payout changes, like in terms of getting a little bit smaller. I talked about that. I think it's something that they needed to do in order to hold on. Pardon. Wow, McBride, all the way back here, huh? Okay. Lowering the price point, I think, is really good for us. It allows them some more flexibility to be creative with the contest. AJ Brown. Oh, fucking Derrick Henry, get out of here. AJB it is. Gibbs, McBride, AJ Brown. I like that. I think it's really nice to have one of the flagships be $15. DraftKings is going to be $25 this year, and we know BBM is going to be $25. So that's really helpful. And they can have some new formats and stuff now, right? They have to deal with, potential or likely overlay for most of these years. And then it's this chicken or the egg problem of having to, like, can we try something new with the new contest? Can we launch another new mini? They want to launch as many minis as possible. They like have as many $2 and $3 tournaments as possible for all of us to be able to, just draft a million teams. But every time you launch a new mini in August or whatever, it takes away from volume from this tournament. And then, they're running a business. And so I think this is sort of the best of both worlds. Would I love if, hold on, okay. I'm getting, boy, I'm really going to be punting off tight end. I'm sorry. I'm getting Flanoy here because I'm mad that I didn't get him yet. And then the weekly prizes, I think I don't like regular season prizes. I think the weekly prizes is a fun wrinkle because I think we all know that drafters, for anybody that doesn't understand, is total points, right? So from week 1 to week 17, you need to score the most total points of every single team in the tournament. There's no regular season, advance, pods, week 17, none of that shit. You need to score the most points. And so we all understand that, like, dude, after a few weeks, a lot of our teams are already dead. It would be nice to have the chance to get paid out, or make money, even if I don't win the whole tournament. But then, like, the most fun part of best ball is the sweat. That's what makes the playoff format so fun. Is like you're sweating your advance rates, you're sweating week 15, week 16, week 17. That makes it fun. Giving and more reason for us to like I invested a lot of time drafting these teams. I would like to enjoy the regular season a little bit more, giving us the reason to do that, right? It's like you're watching games on Sunday and I don't know, I've drafted Chuba a couple times already, right? Chuba scores an early touchdown. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, let's go look at my Chuba teams. Whatever. Like, making it more enjoyable for players is always a good thing. In my opinion, because this is all fun. Nobody here is going to be a fucking professional best ball player. Oh God, we're already back to Malik Davis at the top. I really need some tight ends though. Oh, look at this. Would you look at us? Cam Ward team, Gunnar Helm, top of the queue. I'm getting so excited my camera's getting blurry. Goff double with Amon-Ra and Tesla, Mahomes plus Rashid, and then the old Cam Ward double with Wandale and Gunnar Helm. Is the Flanoy bet a bet that Pickens gets moved? No, I mean, he's the wide receiver 3 on the Cowboys. He was scoring points as the wide receiver 3 on the Cowboys. They didn't draft any skill players. So he can be fantasy relevant at these cheap prices on one of the best offenses in the entire NFL, certainly one of the best passing offenses in the entire NFL, regardless of what happens. And then there is, of course, the added potential upside of a George Pickens trade. Sorry to ruin everything. I agree. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hello, Ali. Lamar, JMO. Should I do more Lions stuff here? Who's at the top? JMO? Okay. Because I might still be able to get Lamar. I could get Terry. I could do, okay. Lamar, Terry, Scat. I don't have any of these guys. Tootin, Evans. How about a Tootin team? Let's have a little bit of fun. I have Tootin ranked in a similar range. It's just when you have your rankings in there, it's always, of course, going to show the guys at the top, and I don't want to completely skew only to those guys at the top so far. Cheers, brother. We'll be here drafting all summer, so thank you for subscribing. If anybody else is not subscribed and you want to click the subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Okay. Tight end's getting rough. Not doing the Stowers thing. All right, running back. Still in on Jordan James. No more receivers. Probably a little bit too wide receiver heavy from a quantity perspective on this team, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Gunnar Helm's your tight end 1, and Jordan James is your running back 4. Might not have enough juice at running back and tight end on this team. The Kalen Black disrespect. Yeah. There's I don't know what the 49ers are doing, man. But I don't have Kalen Black ranked. So that tells you everything you need to know about what I think the 49ers are doing. Thank you. Clue says, what do you think about the Rams picks? I think that the Rams are also fucking idiots. And I know that it's not like that's me having arrogance, but like I'm not the only one that thinks these things. So like I feel fairly confident that the Rams are in an immediate, urgent Super Bowl window. Right now, they need to win before Matthew Stafford retires. They need to win before Devontae Adams retires. They need to win before more of their veterans retire and before Sean McVay retires. And yet, they drafted a quarterback who a lot of people don't think is good, and I think is bad, quite bad, as a matter of fact. I wouldn't draft him in the first round, period. I certainly would not draft him 13th overall. Definitely not 13th overall with a lot of the players that were on the board there. When you already have Matthew Stafford and you're trying to win a Super Bowl right fucking now. They have holes. They need more talent on the roster. Then already having at a minimum 3 good tight ends. They have 4 tight ends on the roster. Then they use their second round pick on another tight end. So they came away with 2 guys who are not going to make a difference on their team this year with their only real draft capital. It's insane. Truly insane. All right, I'm going to take Freiermuth because we're hurting. Tight end, we're bleeding. We're not in the hospital yet, but we're en route to bleeding out. Somebody's putting pressure on the wound on that team. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Like I just, yeah, right. McVay was not super happy. He said he came out and did a good job of like pretending it wasn't a big deal, saying I was doing that because I didn't want to act all happy and get Stafford pissed at me. It's like, so do you not talk to these guys? Is like, shouldn't you? He apparently does not talk to any prospects, which seems like a bad process, right? Like the excuse that was coming out was when Ty Simpson said he'd never met Sean McVay. It's like, well, he never meets any of their prospects. It's like, maybe he should start meeting the prospect. This is the quarterback of the future of the Rams. They already have Matthew Stafford, and Sean McVay they never had contact. That seems bad. That's not like, oh, you idiots. He never does that. It's like, no, that seems fucking stupid. That seems very bad. God damn, it's Chuba Day on Spike Week, I guess, huh? Yeah, Chuba Day. That seems bad. Then, oh, damn it, not Fannin. I don't want to do Fannin. Let's do Lawrence. I have Tootin. Let's do Lawrence. But then he says, right? So he never met with Ty Simpson, and they tried to make it seem like that was like, oh, you idiots, you don't get that he doesn't meet with anybody. Chris Brooks, come on down. Chris Brooks smash, by the way. I know it's a gross name. Packers did not draft any running backs. Chris Brooks is the backup. Yes, Marshawn Lloyd is around whenever his hamstrings don't pop, but sign me up for Chris Brooks in round 18, 19, 20 every time. So we have the Ty Simpson thing. Then their excuses are bad. It's like, well, you guys just don't get it. He doesn't ever talk to the rookies that he's drafting. It's like, that's not a dunk. That's you got rim checked on your dunk, brother. Like I blocked your alley-oop attempt. Then he says, well, I didn't want to like act all happy because I didn't want Matthew to get upset that I was drafting quarterbacks. Like, again, that's not a good excuse. Don't you talk to these people? Does no one have cell phones on the Rams? Like, what the fuck is going on? Just tell Stafford, like, look, you're getting older. We think this guy's the future. It doesn't impact this year. It doesn't impact as long as you want to play. But just like we think he's the quarterback of the future, so we're going to take him. And if Stafford gets mad about that, then figure that out. You're not allowed to smile about your first round pick because you're mad at your quarterback might get mad. Jesus Christ. I have no idea what's going on. Wild stuff. So anyway, the Rams and the 49ers, Seahawks are just sitting back. Like I said it yesterday. The Seahawks are just sitting back, like just smoking, just enjoying life. Just absolutely enjoying life. Marshawn Lloyd was the pick, says Ben. Marshawn Lloyd has statistically, you can look this up, Google this one, that statement has literally never been true. Marshawn Lloyd was the pick. I'm trolling, obviously, but like the time, as soon as Marshawn Lloyd produces as much as even Chris Brooks has in the NFL, then we can, like, if we get the drum beat over the summer, fine. But they've already been talking very highly about Chris Brooks. They let Emmanuel Wilson walk, and they haven't said shit about Marshawn Lloyd. So maybe this will be the year, and I will be very open to considering that fact when we start to get some more news on it. I know the people didn't like when I took Michael Mayer, but I do think he is the best remaining tight end, given the fact that the Rams drafted yet another tight end. 9 picks away on the other team. I'm sorry, Ben. We need sarcasm font in the YouTube chat. Rams made no improvement. Rams are blowing an opportunity to improve a team on the brink of a Super Bowl. They went to the conference championship game and lost by 4, right? They took Seattle. Seattle beat the bricks off of the Patriots in the Super Bowl. The Rams took Seattle to the brink, went to the conference. That was like sort of the actual Super Bowl, and they nearly won it. And they were just like, nah, let's start building. We're done with this team. Let's build for the future. Insane. While also trading a bunch for a corner. Why? It's wild. Three picks away. Not gonna lie to you guys, I'm getting very hungry. I haven't eaten yet today. I was too excited. It's like a Big Daddy when the little kid won't go to sleep. I'm too excited to sleep. I was too excited to eat today. Hope Kirk stays cheap after that terrible pick by the 49ers. I do think Christian Kirk will stay cheap. Another dust ball that I think is a very good pick. Oof. Sorry to I'm not trying to be mean to old KT there. I think the correct pick is Jacoby Myers here, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. But it is what it is. And then Goff, yeah. Oh, on the clock. In our other draft round, 20, running back, Malik Davis, come on down. If you're drafting today, just draft Malik Davis. It's going to be wonderful. Okay. We got the Lawrence Jag stack. Now we get the Goff Lions stack. Lawrence, Goff, Gibbs, Tootin, Chuba, AJ Brown, J-Mo, Jacoby Myers, and Trey McBride. I like this because I can flex my later round wide receivers a little more than I've done thus far. Finish the other team. Let me go. Go here. We'll do one. We'll hop in one more, shall we? For anybody that wants to hop in, there was somebody that said didn't get a chance to draft with you before. You got 3. There's 3 more spots in this one, and we can rock. Okay, hold on. Live drafters main. Oh no, it's not in here yet. Refresh. And we'll come back to it. $112 again. What do we do with the 112? CD James Cook in the very first draft of the year from the 112. So we'll see what we get this time. Seems like a good cause I just missed it. You drafted 30% of someone you didn't know he was playing. Who said that? No, that's someone else that didn't know Christian. Some people are just, the draft just ended. Not everybody is a psychopath following every drop of NFL news. Certainly not about Christian fucking Kirk. Jaden Blue still free. That is true. Cabal is here. It does feel like a good time to say, if you guys could hit the thumbs up button, it would be really greatly appreciated. to kick off the best ball season in a good way. If you're not subscribed, all that kind of stuff. If I don't hit something, I'll try to say this as much as I can over the summer. If I don't like touch on something, you have a question, you have a comment, you're an idiot. I can't believe you think Malik Davis is the starter or is the backup over Jaden Blue. Like, by all means, I try to reply to all the comments in the on every video as much as I can. So if there's something I don't get to, I'm also pretty much always available, generally speaking, in the Spike Week Discord. There is a link to that in the description. It comes free as a part of Spike Week Premium. So if you're a premium member, $39.99 a month, I'll get my draft hacker up and running here. It takes a minute after a new contest launches, and you get access to the Draft Hacker, our Draft IQ portfolio tool, which I will show off plenty this summer, and our brand new Draft Optimizer, plus all the rankings, strategy content, right? Like absolutely everything with Spec Week Premium. Okay, no more of this James Cook bullshit. Let's have some fun. Rashee Rice, Drake London, 0 RB time. 0 RB time. When does DK usually drop the millie? Some people said tonight. Some people said tomorrow. Soon. Sometime soon. For sure. Do more drafts. I will be doing a lot more drafts over the course of the summer. That's why you subscribe to the channel. You can get notified when we go live. I don't have the schedule out yet, but you'll be on the lookout. But be on the lookout for the schedule of streams. Going to get locked in this week, and we'll be live multiple times a week drafting teams for the rest of the summer until whatever September 3rd is opening night. September 3rd. From now until September 3rd, several drafts a week. Strap the fuck in. It's time. Definitely on Jonathan Brooks. It's been a wonderful run out for the Panthers, man. I can't believe Panthers and Saints. What is wrong with me? Look at that. Oh man, QJ. Do I have? No, I didn't. This is not a lad team. We'll take Coker. QJ, I'm not trying to overreact to Brennan fucking Thompson being drafted, but I do find it to be semi-interesting that that seems like a sort of QJ thing, that role. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Let's do QJ. So Lawrence, Goff, Gibbs and JMO with Goff, Tootin and Jacoby Myers with Lawrence, plus my boy Chuba, plus AJ Brown, plus Jalen Coker with Chuba. Got some Chargers exposure. Everybody knows I'm Team Charger. I'm sort of wearing Chargers colors today. Is Ric Flair a fan of the Chargers? It's a Ric Flair t-shirt. And then Trey McBride at tight end. Do you think Vele is dead? No, I don't think he's dead. But I moved him down a lot. Let's see what the changelog says. I moved Vele from 152 to 183 after the Tyson news. And he's definitely one I'll be, keeping an eye out for, seeing if even that's too high. But he's not dead. My expectation for the Saints is in 3 wide receiver sets, which I expect them to run a lot of. They ran 12 personnel at a low clip, if I recall. Did I miss it? So just shy of 17% of the time, the Saints ran 12 personnel. So they're on the lower end of that, and they're running it back. Though they did draft Oscar Delp, right? Maybe that changes something. I think he's the tight end of the future after Juwan, but whatever. They also drafted Bryce Lance. But my expectation is at a minimum to start the season, Olave, of course, Jordan Tyson on the outside, Juwan at tight end, and Vele in the slot in single tight end alignments. So that's my expectation. And I think the offense is going to be pretty good. Obviously, Travis Etienne at running back. How about, well, I'm definitely down for some Garrett here. How about Garrett and Loveland? Chris. That's correct. You were on the right track. Not Corey Brooks. Chris. Same. Tomato. Boring ass name. That's a Madden create a player name. Right? That is a Madden backup running back that's an auto-generated rookie class that goes in the 6th round. Corey Brooks from where? I don't even know where Chris Brooks went to college. yeah. Chris Brooks, Marshawn Lloyd's backup. That's funny. For sure. I'm just starting out the show, but please no more multi-drafts, less info for the consumer, people auto-drafting. So less info for the consumer. If you can explain why, I'm all ears. We're always trying to get better. But I think it's far more info for the consumer. People auto-draft. Who's auto-drafting? And why does that matter? People auto-draft. If I do only one draft and people are auto-drafting. So I may just be misunderstanding, which will not be the first time. Let's see. Sadiq. I was considering Sadiq there. I could do a Bill share. The Mike Washington preloaded ADP is funny. How about let's do the 3 quarterback thing with Bryce. We got the Carolina thing set up, Chuba and Coker. So let's do that. Gibbs, Toot, and Chuba. Okay. Ja'Cory Brooks. There you go. Big old Lion stack, another Tesla share. Let's do it. I do think team stacking really it's just super powerful in really any form of best ball, but I think it's like a team like the Lions. Obviously, you cannot get Amon-Ra and Gibbs on the same team, but one of the two plus several different Lions here, and just Lions go burr it up. Ja'Cory Brooks. Yeah, haven't heard that name in a little while. Was Antonio Williams the best pre-draft 20th round pick? That's a good question. Probably. Unless you like Stribling, I guess. And I don't. So that would be. I think probably Antonio. Which tells you everything you need to know about this class. That's not ideal. Like, it's fine. It's fine for Antonio Williams. Totally fine. Good, dare I say. But like, you didn't get like, dude, RJ Harvey was a 20th round pick. Like, a lot we get sometimes like, oh my God, mega slam dunk. Generally, running backs can be a little bit more slam dunkish, but it was fine for Antonio Williams. NFC South or AFC South stacks. Yeah, divisional stacking. Divisional stacking can be good in any of these formats, but I think in total points a little bit better, because those, right, every week matters. And so if you can get more sort of correlated ceiling outcomes from more players in the same individual weeks, which of course divisional teams play each other multiple times and then they all play each other, right? It's a good thing. Mike Evans down at pick 60. That's new. Jordan Tyson, of course. We'll do Evans. That's surprising. I could do Caleb. We could do my boy Daniels. Of course, could do Jordan Tyson. And of course, let's just clean sweep it with Chuba, huh? Preach, Bruce. I like the potential for Adam Randall if Henry goes down. I'm not as high on Adam Randall either, but I think that's a fair take. I just wasn't a big Adam Randall prospect guy, and I think he's got a long way to go. Again, Randall, and I mentioned before that this was also my take on Tyrone Tracy, which was wrong. So something maybe I need to look in the mirror about, but I still think the results of that one player aren't going to change my take on Adam Randall or this like general process. I think a guy who was a wide receiver for his entire life and his career and converts at the end of his college career to running back and is fine. Adam Randall is fine. He's got like pass protection issues. Just like he's still learning the position. If something happens to Derrick Henry, they have Justice Hill, they have Rasheen Ali. Is Adam Randall really going to, right, as a rookie, is he really going to get a bunch of work to be fantasy relevant? It's possible, right? Because some people think he's better than I think. I would be surprised. A Jalen Naylor team? How about it? Add a little Jalen Naylor. Pacheco would actually be fun on this, which sounds crazy, but if you had drafted like Gibbs, Demont, like just all the Lions previously, you'd be in awesome shape. So these are the kinds of things that I think I've learned about, grown with my game, and all that kind of stuff. Is historically I would just be like, no, you can't draft that guy on this, on this team. You can't draft the running backs together. You can't draft XYZ, right? Having like these hard and fast rules. And I think a lot of that was just flat out wrong. I was wrong about that. And I'm not saying I'm not going out of my way to do some of these things, at least not too often. But I think there's so much margin. There's such a wide margin for, I don't know if that's the right phrasing, for building different ways. And most people will never, ever, ever draft that way, right? One of my big things this year is like people would call it handcuffing, but I think it's a little bit different. Buying backfields a little can be, sometimes it's the exact same, but sometimes it's a little bit different. Just different stuff like that I've learned about over, right? This is about to be year 7 of the best ball thing. We've been doing this for quite a long time, and you kind of have to learn through a lot of mistakes and obviously look at tons and tons of data over different seasons. And that's one of those, right? Like essentially running backs on the same team is something that I've been pretty adamantly opposed to for a while. And it's really, really grown on me. And I think ultimately it's actually very powerful. A little bit more in the playoff formats, but not irrelevant in total points. Warren goes, okay. I haven't gotten any Fannin yet. But again, I think Jadarian Price is going to settle into like the 60s. I'm just guessing. But I think Jadarian Price is going to settle into like the 60s. So I'm using today, opening day, to scoop a little bit of this price that no pun intended, the price of price before it gets a little bit little bit crazy because I'm just lukewarm on Jadarian Price, but I do think in the 80s or whatever, we should be buying that. Both because that is an appropriate price for him, like a genuinely good and profitable price for him, but also because he's certainly going to rise. And if you don't get him, if you feel a little bit more uncomfortable with him, then maybe the market does. That's my belief. Now is a good time to get in. I'm bullish on converted wide receivers as a gadget player. I do have a lot of Hill just in the 20th. I like the dart. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. If the weekly prizes were to alter your draft strategy, how would it? Initial take, doesn't alter mine. I agree. Does not alter mine. It's right. If you beat tens of thousands of teams, it's $5,000, which is not nothing. But planning around it is missing the forest for the trees. We're trying to win 250K. We're trying to take down the total. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can draft awesome teams in search of $250,000 and stumble your way into the 5,000. So I'm not drafting for it. If you did, it would be targeting some a couple different things. One, now this would ruin your expected value. Maybe, probably. No, not probably. It would. It would ruin your expected value for the 250,000 for the whole tournament. But if you just said, give me everybody on buy in the same week. I'm taking 0 in that week, but I have all 20 guys for the rest of the season. It's a microscopic change, but it gives you a little better ceiling in 16 different weeks to take the 0 in the 1 week. Now, is that achievable? Does it make sense ADP wise and all that kind of stuff? That's a very different thing, but just spitballing, right? And then attacking, like some divisional stuff is fine. Attacking, I think just completely onslaughting an individual offense. So if I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too, like how can I win the 250,000 and give myself shots at $5,000? It's like draft all the Lions and the Lions just go burr this year. You got all of them. So they're going to have, right. The bet is obviously they're going to be league winners for the whole season to try to win the overall prizes. But en route to that, a bunch of different Lions are going to have big games across the season. Obviously, then you have Jared Goff, who's benefiting from a bunch of these Lions having big games. This is a McBride team, correct? Yeah. I guess I'm a Gunnar Helm boy today. Gunnar Helm and Chuba Hubbard, huh? Okie dokie. Pretty strong at running back on this team. But yeah, just like mega onslaughting in offense, right? You like the Eagles. Draft all the Eagles. You like the Commanders. Draft all the fucking Commanders. Now, maybe not all 3 backs, right? But like Daniels, Terry, Ayuk, Chig, draft all of them because they're going to be huge smashes at various different points on the season. We are in the dead zone. How about a Chris Bell team? He is much more of a playoff format guy, I think. We'll do Pollard, and I gotta have a quarterback. Did I take shit? No Lions. Screwed this one up. Shuck it is. We'll figure out my boy Vele, Juwan Johnson. Should have taken Tyson earlier. Tua, Cam Ward, Bryce, Darnold. Okay. We'll figure out the quarterback stuff. Do you think 2 running backs from the same team is more advantageous in playoff format than total points? Can you explain that? I would have thought the other way around. I do. I think we can. The hard part in these conversations is I can give you a scenario in which it's better in total points, and I can give you a scenario in which it's better in playoff formats. I think in playoff formats, the biggest perk is the ownership factor. And the like, you're not competing against all of the others, right? So if I draft Jahmyr Gibbs and he gets hurt for an extended stretch, in total points, what you're really hoping for when you do this is they're both valuable all season, even with both of them playing. That's sort of the Lions bet. That's the David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't have to get hurt for David Montgomery to be valuable. So, but that works for both formats, right? In total points, if Jahmyr Gibbs goes down for an extended stretch, your Pacheco teams, or formerly David Montgomery teams, are now competing against thousands of Gibbs teams thousands of Pacheco teams that most of them do not have Gibbs. So they have another first round pick. So you're actually losing points to them during that stretch. But if that happens in the regular season, who cares? In the playoff format, who cares? No one else in your 11 team pod has Gibbs. You're the only Gibbs team. Even if even if week 15 or week 16, it's a small group. You're only ever competing with a small group of teams, right? Even in BBM, 15 other teams in week 15 or 16. It's like, it's not ideal to not have Jahmyr Gibbs, but you've guaranteed yourself this wide receiver or this running back 1. And then in the next round, hopefully week 17, Jahmyr Gibbs is low owned. And that's when the power really comes in the playoff formats. So that's sort of how I think about it. It's not nothing in either, right? And then there's a scenario that works in either format, but I just think it's more powerful because of that in the playoff formats. GR yelled when I took Chris Bell. Brett did a 3-4-9-4 build with his first score. I like that. You know it. Where are you at on Fat Man? By the way, for anybody that doesn't know, Fat Man is Kaytron Allen. Many thinking he will take over the Commander's backfield. I just feel like there's so many bodies. It's a mess to be avoided. They're all kind of mid. My general thesis about Fat Man, aka Kaytron Allen, is he is a late round rookie running back in the worst rookie running back class of all time. It's not that he can't win. It's that I will bet against that if the market is betting on that. Rachaad White is the most annoying, shitty runner in the history of football that scores fantasy points no matter how much we hate it. He is a good pass protector and a good receiver, and offensive coaches trust him. Bill, just last year, was the big, sexy, trust me, this guy's a superstar. He's better than Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichols and Austin Eckler and all this kind of stuff. And now we've thrown him to the garbage can after one whatever season. So I don't know if any of that makes any sense. Bryce, and we're going to make this a 3-quarterback team. Ward, Stroud. I took Scat earlier. Take Tyron Tracy. I can think about the next quarterback on the next pick. We'll do it. Let's do a branch team. I don't really love branch, but it's fine. It's fine because then I can take some of my running backs here. Let's do Braylon. I haven't done Braylon yet. A good draft for Braylon in terms of the run out, for sure. But this is a 3 because this is McBride. Yeah, so this is going to be 3, 6, 3, 7, 9, 2. Is that right? No, 3, 3, 6, 9, 2. Am I my mathing? Yeah. So we'll draft one more running back on this team. Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Bryce Young. Obviously, we got a whole bunch of Lions on this team. Jahmyr Gibbs, Bashal Tutin, Chuba Hubbard, Isaiah Pacheco. There's the thing we were talking about with the backfield. Braylon Allen and another running back. A.J. Brown, Jamison Williams, Jacoby Myers, Jalen Coker, Quentin Johnston, Isaac Tesla, Jalen Naylor, Chris Bell, Zachariah Branch. I do kind of like that. I do kind of like the blending of that wide receiver room. Chris Bell, the Jacoby Myers and Jalen Cokers and QJs, and obviously A.J. Brown. These got Jalen Naylor. These guys can bide the time until Chris Bell becomes a thing, that's sort of the thesis is Chris Bell, fresh off an ACL, but when Chris Bell's ready to roll, and maybe it is week 1, probably not. When Chris Bell's ready to roll, the world is his oyster in Miami. They have a bunch of wide receivers, but they all suck. And Chris Bell's probably the most talented one. So I think you need to, I'm going to draft a bunch of Chris Bell, but I think you need to draft Chris Bell teams with a certain purpose. Hopefully we did that here. Toss on another rookie with opportunity in Zachariah Branch. Not many good offensive weapons around London, Bijan, Pitts, and old Atlanta. So I do not like Branch. But again, he's this like screen merchant PPR scam type guy that like I'm open on underdog, the Branch, Antonio Williams, I'm forgetting several different names, but those types, even Wandale, those types of guys are just less valuable to me. But here it's a lot more valuable. And then McBride, Gunner, Helm. So I'm digging it. Exactly. Shout out to Drafters for getting us live today. Way too much fun. Everybody, I see the people streaming in. I really appreciate you. If you could hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. We're gonna be drafting so many teams all summer. So if you weren't able to get in one of these with us today, this is draft number 4. Oh, well, this is draft number 4 over here. If you weren't able to get in draft number 4, or one of the 4 drafts, trust me, we'll be back later this week, multiple different times. We're going to draft all summer. It's going to be a ton of fun. Ball is life. Loves him some fat man. I mean, I can't argue against it other than, again, I don't think K-Tron was that good. And he's a 6th-round pick in the worst running back class of all time. So like it's just like always that's the dunk that the Rams attempted when they did the Ty Simpson pick, but they failed. That's the actual dunk that you can always pull. Doesn't mean it's right, but it just means that's sort of the card to play. Do you think Shador or Watson starts? I think Deshaun Watson. I have Deshaun Watson ranked somewhere around 200 and Shador more like 220 or 225 or something like that. If you put a gun to my head today, I would say Watson. Oh, look at this. Let's give away a ticket in the chat. Let's see. How should we do this? I'm going to let drafters, if you, I don't know who it is from the team's drafters watching. If you want to, I'm not going to type everybody's name into the wheel, but everybody put your drafters username into the YouTube chat. We'll randomly select a winner for a free ticket into the drafters main event. So I see everybody that's watching right now, put your drafters username into the chat. We'll make sure to give a random lucky person a free ticket into the drafters main event. What's an ADP? Shout out Rabona. Welcome back. What's an ADP you think will go up by a lot very soon you've seen so far? I think I have to say Chuba because I keep drafting him on every single team. Chuba Hubbard. These Titans backs. Oh, man. Hold on. I'm going to do... Let's do the Naylor Mendoza thing. Just lock this down. I mean, I love Tajay, and this is a great price on Denzel Boston. But I want 3 quarterbacks, and I want to get some form of a stack here. So let's do that. Got to make one more pick over here. Ooh, haven't done Jalen Wright yet. Haven't done Taj Brooks. Haven't done Giddens or Justice Hill. Let's see. We have Chris Bell. Let's do Jalen Wright with our Chris Bell little secondary stack for our last running back. on this team. Huh. And the 101 takes Ollie Gordon. That's funny. Holy Lord, that's a lot of drafters usernames. All right, drafters, you guys get to shout out to drafters for hanging out with us and for giving away some free tickets. But I'm gonna let you guys figure that one out. And if you can't, I will randomly. So I'll close my eyes and scroll around, or I'll have my dog come down here and like boop his nose on the screen and see. That's a lot of usernames. Let's see. Who are you talking about? Katron, probably. Katron. On the topic of handcuffing, do you think it's more optimal on a... Oh, yes, your question definitely makes sense. Do you think it's more optimal on a robust team or vice versa? I think vice versa, because what it's sort of doing is you're trying to manufacture, right? That's why I often like to call it buying a backfield. And they're two different things, right? Like you're handcuffing Christian McCaffrey with Jordan James. I like to think about the Titans. Let's just pretend just for the sake of argument, Nick Singleton is not really a thing. I mean, he's also a late round rookie with a broken foot, who wasn't very good. But that's neither here nor there. It's Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears, but they're splitting the backfield, right? They're splitting the backfield up. So I just want to buy the whole backfield. 1 week it might be Pollard, the next week it might be Spears. And so what I'm really trying to do by drafting them together is anybody that knows me knows I love my Moneyball quotes. Like I'm trying to recreate a running back one in the aggregate without spending the price on the running back one. I'm trying to create it, right? So like draft, that's when I'm trying to get running back 1 points a lot of the weeks by not spending running back one draft capital. So I buy both the Titans backs. I say, maybe 1 week it's Pollard, 1 week it's Spears, 1 week it's neither. The next week they sort of chop it up. The next week Pollard is out, and then maybe Spears misses a game, whatever. I'm trying to create like this Frankenstein RB1. And I think the less you spend on it, which would be the opposite of robust, it makes it a little bit more powerful. Doesn't mean you can't do it with the robust thing, like draft 3 running backs in the first 5 rounds and then take Jalen Warren and Rico Dowdle, take 5 backs and do it that way. I think that's a way you can do this. I just think it's a little bit better the opposite way, to answer your question. $20-round marathon format. That's correct. Holy Lord, so many usernames. Nick Singleton has a broken foot. Yeah, I think it sounds like he's going to be fine, but he broke his foot. Is Njoku washed or is he still playing this year? Both. I think he's pretty washed, and I think he's going to play this year. He's a free agent right now, though. Bang. See? Exactly. RGT says Pollard, Spears both hit lineups for me in the playoffs last season. Well played, sir. If drafters, if Best Ball Cabal put his name in, put his username in, pick him. Cabal, do you have a job? Yeah. I've decided. I'm sorry to everyone else. I really appreciate you. But I've decided that Best Ball Cabal wins the free ticket. Because that was good. Very well played, sir. All right, we're back on the clock. I really fucked this team up. Not bad for Ayuk. Let's do an Ayuk Flanoy team. Shout out Best Ball Cabal. That was well played. I know I didn't make the rule that you had to say a funny comment to win the ticket, but I'm over here. I've been talking for 2 hours. We'll lay down the law. Well played, Nick Singlefoot. Good job. I'm going to call him that for the rest of the summer now. Price and Sharbs is like a 7th and a 10th rounder. It is fine. So the problem with Sharbs is the injury and the fact that Emmanuel Wilson exists, and I guess sort of technically George Holani exists. So that's the problem. Is you never really fully know if you're buying it, if you're buying the full backfield, right? Like the Titans, Nick Singleton does exist. I'm making fun of him, but he plays into this equation. So it's not a guarantee that you're buying all of it, right? Same thing, Washington. You could do Rachaad White and Bill, aka Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, but Katron exists and Jerome Ford is technically on the team. Right? Scattaboo and Tyrone Tracy. Well, Devin Singletary is going to annoy the shit out of you in week 6 or whatever. But the goal is that you're giving yourself as good of a chance as possible to buy the whole thing. When you do Sharp, I think that there is a scenario in which the Price Sharps thing is fascinatingly good. You're actually using the rookie. This would be so insane. You're using the rookie as the chaperone to wait till Sharps gets back from his injury, and then Sharps takes over, and he's the low-owned hammer at the end of the season. Like, I mean, it's a possible scenario. It's just trickier. And then there is the Emmanuel Wilson factor where, like, if Sharps is not ready, which by all intents and purposes we assume he will not be to start the season, he's probably just going to start on the PUP list. But Emmanuel Wilson's going to play. Like, Emmanuel Wilson is probably at worst going to be the passing down back next to Price, at worst. So that throws a wrench into things. So then, like, are you going to draft all 3 Seahawks backs? Like, I don't think it's truly insane, but I would prefer not to do that, if that makes sense. Oh, look at that. Shout out to drafters. Given another 2 free tickets. Platform of the people, I believe, is what they say, right? And Njoku has been linked to Carolina. That's a good question. I actually don't know. Yes, sir, we are. Congrats to everyone. Tickets have been added. That was quick. Let's see. Wonderful. All right, let's review this. This, of course, we ended with not my favorite team. I have Bryce and Chuba, right? Yeah, okay. So maybe I'll root for Njoku to the Panthers on this team. Okay. This would be 17, 18. Shuck, Bryce Young, Mendoza at quarterback, only Loveland at tight end so far with 5 running backs and 7 wide receivers. It's a 0 running back-ish. It's a kind of a fake 0 running back team. I have to decide if the stack is important to me. I'm gonna do Njoku because I need a second tight end anyway. My question is, let's do Vele. So this will be the only real way I can get a bunch of correlation or a bunch of potential correlation. So we're going to pretend Njoku goes to Carolina on this team, and we're going to take Vele. And so that gives us Shuck Vele with Bryce, Chuba, and Njoku, and then Mendoza, Jalen Naylor. So this is pretty disgusting correlation, but we still made it work. And now we'll close out. That's through 18 rounds. And then at running back, we have Chuba, Ramondre, Jadarian Price, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy. This is better early. This is a better drafter 0 running back team than I have drafted historically. I guarantee you a lot of people have watched my 0 running back draft streams on Drafters, and they will probably happen again later this year. Like in total points formats, they're like, this team sucks ass. This team is dead. And it probably was. They were probably right. So we're trying to get better. And I think Chuba, Ramondre, Price, Pollard, like that's for sure early season production. Like Tyrone Tracy could be early season production if Scattaboo doesn't hit. Price is like a lot of these guys are full season. Like Ramondre, aside from when he was hurt, was good all year. Chuba, 2 years ago, good all year. Pollard, good all year. So I think these are the kinds of things where I would just like take a million like upside swings on a room like this and really screw up what could have been a good team. Interesting. Why do you think everyone doing 3 quarterbacks in cumulative just feels wrong compared to playoff formats? What I'll say is I don't think that you're wrong. I think in cumulative for me, it's really the same in all formats, but you can explain things away in the playoff format to a degree with certain scenarios that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Right? I can always just say, well, they're going to ping pong. I'm going to get huge, right? I could explain I could explain 4 quarterbacks away by just saying, well, in the regular season, this guy's awesome. And in week 15, this guy's awesome. I take 3 guys and I say, well, I guarantee myself in 15, 16, 17 to always have a good quarterback score. You can always explain it away in playoff formats. In cumulative, I do think 3 quarterback is a little bit overdrafted. To this point, many of the top teams last year had 3 QB. I'm not saying that it doesn't mean anything, but it's a sampling bias. When most teams draft 3 quarterbacks, the likelihood that top teams have 3 quarterbacks is much higher. Right? And so it doesn't mean that 3 quarterbacks is wrong, because it's not. It just doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's right. In my opinion, it's what Hacker says. The answer, should you draft 3 quarterbacks or 2, is the same as the answer to any structural question. It depends. It depends who you drafted. It depends what draft capital you spent on them. It depends on how that draft went. There could be 3 quarterback teams where it's with Josh Allen. That makes sense. And then there could be 2 quarterback teams with Josh Allen where if you took the 3rd quarterback, you fucked that team up because you really needed running back firepower, right? Or you really needed a 3rd tight end, or you really needed a wide receiver. Like, it depends. It depends on your team. That's always the answer. We're about to finish this draft, and it's a great thing to leave it on because it's one of the things I believe in the most in this game is we can argue till the cows come home and look at data and all this kind of stuff. And what the answer to all this shit is basically always, it depends. Let's see. Okay. I know I'm taking Malik. So let's do Malik. I'm just trying to see if any of these other cheap backs make more sense. Nothing really. Chris Brooks, LeQuint. I'm just going to do Chris Brooks because I think he's going to rise a lot. I could do Justice, but I think I want the pure handcuff upside of Chris Brooks a little bit more than Justice Hill. I like Justice Hill on some teams with some other Ravens, in case something happens to Derrick Henry, having Andrews or Zay or a fucking flyer on one of the million other wide receivers that they have on the roster. But here's the final team. Tyler Shuck, Bryce Young, and Fernando Mendoza. See, so you don't have to go quite this deep. You don't have to wait for Tyler Shuck to be I drafted a 3 quarterback team with Lawrence first, right? But Josh Allen, I'm not drafting 3 quarterbacks unless something goes weird in my draft for me personally. And especially I do agree on cumulative. I like 2 a little bit more than some other formats. But if I'm punting quarterback, especially to give me 3 different stacks and stuff, I like it more than I don't at the quarterback position. Obviously a 0 running back-ish team, but I quite like this running back room. Chuba Hubbard, Ramondre Stevenson, Jadarian Price, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, of course, then Malik Davis and Chris Brooks, my 2 favorite current last round running backs. I don't know why the fuck they're still going in the last round after the NFL draft, but God bless day 1. Launch party. Rashee Rice, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Jalen Naylor, Brandon Ayuk, Ryan Flanoy, and Devon Bailey. That's a Spike Week ass wide receiver room. And Colson Loveland, David Njoku. We made up a Carolina Panthers stack. It was fun. Some weird correlation on this team, but I still think we salvaged it, and I'm excited for it. Shout out to our friends over at Drafters for giving away some free tickets and joining us on this show. As I mentioned, we'll be back all summer. So if you can hit the subscribe button, that would be phenomenal. If you want to join us in the Spike Week Discord, you just have to be a premium member. SpikeWeek.com/go-premium will get you access for just $39.99 a month or $200 for the entire calendar year. So until next year on April 26th, you have access. Get all the tools, get all blah, 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 right? You saw the ranking, some of the teaser of some of the rankings on today's show. You get access to that if you're a premium member. And of course, if you guys can hit thumbs up on the way out, I really appreciate it. This is a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to do a ton more drafts this summer. We're in for a fucking awesome. This is going to be an incredible summer. I'm super excited. I'll see you guys in a couple days. Have a wonderful opening day. Good luck in your drafts. Cheers.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there, you can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.